Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. Okay, so today I have another one of my videos where we react to crazy stories on the internet about your favorite luxury brands. You guys seem to love these videos. My husband thinks they're hysterical. He was watching a few the other day and he was like, please tell me people are not absolutely barking mad to write these reviews with their government names. I'm like, it gets worse. People write them with their government names without even thinking about how it could affect them shopping at these brands, I guess because they're just so upset. So we're going to just get straight into it. We're going to talk about Louis Vuitton and Big H today because Louis Vuitton and Big H have been misbehaving, and then after we finish reacting to the really interesting stories, then we'll do some chit chat at the end. I'm going to answer some of your questions. I want to talk about the Birkin at the end. I want to talk about my trip that I'm going to do in summer as well, and then I also want to just kind of talk generally. I'm going to give like a come to Jesus talk to all of us at the end, okay, because I feel like there's some important things we need to talk about that maybe it doesn't warrant its own like separate video, but it's worth us kind of chatting about. Okay, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is about Louis Vuitton. This is about Louis Vuitton. I'm trying to remember which, hold on, wait. I'm trying to remember which location this is. This is the Louis Vuitton in the Champs-Elysees. Okay, so this is a really long story. So I'm just going to summarize what she says. So there's a client who says, absolutely terrible service after spending thousands of dollars here. I waited in line outside in the cold for over an hour, and then when I got inside, I had to wait for 20 more minutes for an advisor. I didn't mind the wait because I understand it was pretty busy. I finally got to an advisor and they didn't have the bag I wanted. I wanted her to give me recommendations that were similar to that style or any styles that were timeless or classic. She showed me a bag that was a size bigger than the one I wanted. She also tried showing me another bag, but she couldn't find it. I'm not sure why they make the advisors look for the bag when they're stock people. Seems very unorganized. Yes, the Champs-Elysees does do that. I also wanted to compare the different sizes of the bag, the one she gave me and the one that I wanted, and 4 to 5 workers started freaking out saying I couldn't touch the display. First of all, if you don't want people to touch the display, put a sign saying, do not touch. Second of all, I was going to buy one of the bags I was checking out anyway. I just wanted to see the size comparison. The advisor was not there to help me look at it because she was trying to look for another bag. Extremely rude service. I went to Chanel the other day. Everyone was super friendly. They let me touch and even try on the bag. Service here versus Chanel's like night and day. I guess I expected top service like Chanel gives me. Quite disappointed. The Louis Vuitton back home gives better service than here. I don't know why. Is it because of the way I was dressed? Okay. Felt extremely discriminated. She said, felt extremely discriminated here. Ooh, okay. Wasn't even offered water after making a $5,000 purchase. I felt like I was shopping at Forever 21. I also wanted, okay, interesting. I also wanted them to hold my items at the store after I paid because I was going to travel around Europe. At this point, I wasn't even surprised when the advisor told me they don't offer this service. She says, this is a buy and sell store. Or something like that. Interesting how Chanel gladly held my items with me for no issues at all. Chanel showed me what a high-end store service would be like. Then I come to this poor Louis Vuitton location. She visited in November 2021. Okay, let's react to this one first. Okay, so my kind of feeling about this dragging story, that was about the Champs-Elysees boutique, is this. I think at the end of the day, you know, I think it's quite hard, but I think at the end of the day, like, you know, first of all, I don't feel like it's reasonable, in my opinion, to expect Louis Vuitton to hold your bits as you go shopping around Europe. I'm sorry. I would probably take those, get those insured, and put them in a, you know, a high security storage facility where the items will be safe and, you know, where nothing will happen to them. I don't know if I think that's reasonable, but everything else that she said, in my opinion, I felt was reasonable, especially pertaining to the water thing. I didn't really spend a lot of money when I went shopping there in January. I spent very little. I was offered water. I remember that it was so funny because he offered me water, the essay, and he was speaking in French, and for some reason I said no, but I was thirsty because I had queued outside. And I would have loved something to drink. So I do agree with her pertaining to the issue about something to drink. I think it's completely reasonable to go to the Louis Vuitton flagship boutique and expect something to drink. To be fair, the Louis Vuitton is the only brand that offered me a drink in all of the shopping experiences I had when I was shopping in Paris, okay? I do think that that whole thing about water and being offered a drink, I think it's completely reasonable to expect a luxury shopping experience at a luxury boutique. I'm sorry, it is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her expecting that. However, I don't know if I agree with certain parts of her review here when she says, she talks about how, you know, they have a, you know, they were freaking out saying she couldn't touch the display, and then she's bigging up Chanel, which is interesting because Chanel, honey, the reviews of Chanel in Paris, so many of them say you're not allowed to touch the display. So I don't know which boutique that she went into, but if you go into like any of the big C boutiques in Chanel and you start touching bags, you're gonna get checked by security. They're gonna be like, please don't touch, wait for an essay to be assigned to you. So this idea that you can just go around touching, definitely at the big C boutiques in Paris, like, that's not really correct. So maybe she got lucky that day and she thinks that's the standard for big C, but that is not big C standard. The bit here where she talks about how the advisor, they didn't have the bag she wanted. She showed her another bag. She went to go look for another bag, and then she wanted to compare sizes of the bag. Maybe they felt like she was being a bit, you know, first she wanted a bag. They showed her other options. She then wants to compare the bag sizes. She doesn't mention if it was a canvas bag or a leather bag, but I'm willing to bet money that this was a canvas bag. And I'm willing to bet money that they literally were like, no, we're not going to do this because this is a, you know, a canvas thing. And I bet you, I mean, because these are canvas bags. And I bet you if this had been a leather, I'm pretty sure this was not an emprunt thing here. She says wasn't even offered water after making a $5,000 purchase. We don't know if she bought other things. I don't feel like this was a leather bag. So I don't think that LV is right here. I think they're bang out of order. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know about like, I mean, for example here, like, I wanted her to give me recommendations. She did show you a recommendation. She then showed her a bag that was bigger than the one she wanted. She then tried to show her another bag. So the essay did try. So I don't know, like, I don't know about her kind of feeling a bit indignant or a bit upset about that, because the essay did try. And yes, a lot of these Parisian brands do not play around when it pertains to touching things in the boutique. The only thing that I agree with her 100% is she should have been offered something to drink. I mean, come on. I think that's completely fine for you and having a luxury shopping experience to expect something to drink. I think that's completely fine. The next one is also from the Louis Vuitton boutique on the Champs-Élysées. He says spent more than 10,000 at the shop. Doesn't say euro or dollars, but he says spent more than 10K at the shop. Didn't get any good service at all. Staff standing around, but not assigned to you. Not sure if it's just us, but we had to wait for staff. Hold on, wait. He says no drinks offered. Not that I'm hard up for it as compared to other brands we visited, like Dior and Prada, which offered us coffee, drinks, chocolate when we didn't even buy anything initially. These stores are crowded as well. Conclusion: if you already know what you want, get it at the stores. It's cheaper in Paris. If you're looking for a great experience, good and attentive customer service to help you select a recommended luxury product, try elsewhere. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I feel like the Parisian Louis Vuitton boutiques are for people who are familiar with Louis Vuitton. And I think if you are someone who knows LV, most of you who watch this channel, you are big LV people like me. I love Louis Vuitton. I'm a Louis Vuitton girl. But I feel like if you're kind of exploring the brand, I wouldn't go to the Champs-Élysées boutique for sure to expect like to meet an essay and have them explain like the Speedy and the Neverfull. There were no Neverfulls on the shelf. There were no Speedies on the shelf. They're all hidden away. I told you the only canvas bag that was on the shelf was the Dauphine, and it's pricey. It's really, really pricey. They had lots of pricey leather, you know, bags on there as well. So I completely agree that if you want a luxury experience, like I wouldn't necessarily say that the Champs-Élysées store would be the place to have a luxury experience for luxury bags. I was reflecting on my experience at the Champs-Élysées because I knew I was going to do this video, and even though I literally barely spent anything, I spent a little amount there relative to what I know people are spending there. But because I had inquired, I remember that day, I inquired about prêt-à-porter and I inquired about exotics, I was treated differently. I do think that a lot of people who are writing these reviews are not ready to wear clients. They're not leather clients, they're not exotic clients. And don't get me wrong, they deserve to be treated well, but I just feel like at this point, these brands are like segmenting their client base. They're like, this person buys ready to wear, this person buys, you know, the trunks and the luggages, and this person buys the leather bags that are made from leather. So we're going to treat that person better than this person who just wants to buy canvas, you know, day in and day out. And I think that Louis Vuitton has absolutely doing that. And I, like I said, Belly really didn't spend that much, you know, but he knew I liked exotic leather. He knew I liked their clothes, and I really do like their clothes. I was going to be ready to buy that Vitamins t-shirt, but they didn't have it in my size. And then they only had the long sleeved one, and that's not the one that I wanted. I wanted the shorter one, right? So I feel like the type of product you buy plays a huge role in whether you're treated well or not. I know I'm going to get people now saying, well, how come I went to Louis Vuitton Champs-Élysées and I was treated well and I bought a Neverfull? Of course you were treated well. They know that people want to buy canvas. They do know that. But I can absolutely vouch that a lot of these reviews are spot on, and there is a kind of, I don't know, a kind of, they do kind of fob you off a little bit if they feel like you're not going to spend, or if they feel like you're not spending in the categories that they want you to spend in. The next story is from one of the Louis Vuitton boutiques in New York. It says here, if you do not look the part, expect attitude. Very rude, and if you're in the area, you might as well head on over to Fifth Avenue. They'll help you out more than here. I came here quite a few times. I've purchased from LV before, and this is probably the worst location to come to in NYC. I understand people have bad days and normally excuse it, but I came here recently and was sick, and I was sick at how I was treated. I even left saying thank you and everything because I did not want to be rude. Hopefully the new location in Hudson Yards reflects the Fifth Avenue location more than the Saks spot. Yeah, I believe this is the Saks location, so it's the concession at Saks. So I think this is super interesting. It's a very interesting review because a lot of the Louis Vuitton boutiques, this is a constant theme that comes up, like how people are treated badly. Many people in tons of reviews around the world, okay, have said that they feel like, you know, you are judged based on how you look. I definitely think in the touristy locations, please don't be like, I have a CA and I wear trainers and joggers and my CA doesn't care. That isn't the same. If you have a relationship with someone at the boutique, or you have a connection, you have a CA already at Louis Vuitton, like, of course, how you're dressed isn't going to really play a role. But I feel like in the more touristy locations, they absolutely look at how you're dressed. And I feel like that's what I was trying to tell you guys when I had gone shopping in January in Paris. I really did feel like as a tourist, you are judged based on how you look. And definitely in Europe, I know that the US has a more sort of casual approach to like a more casual, relaxed vibe when it comes to like clothing and things like that. I do feel like the European boutiques are much more formal, and they really do judge what you look like and what you're wearing. But I do agree that a lot of the Louis Vuitton boutiques, like whenever I'm compiling these stories, like a ton of them, they always talk about how, you know, the way you're dressed and how the way you're dressed is going to determine you being treated well or not. So one thing I'm going to do when I go traveling this summer, when I go back traveling, is I'm going to do like experiments. I'm going to go to some boutiques, like flagships, because I feel like flagships are the better. I think it's better to do this like in a flagship where you dress really nicely to see if you're treated better. I remember a few years ago, Fashionista, that website, they did a really cool experiment like that. Like it was a journalist from Fashionista, like she dressed really, really, really nicely at some boutiques to see if she was treated better, and then other days she would dress like really, really badly. And the days where she was dressed nicely, she was treated better, so go figure. The next story is from Chanel in Singapore. So this is one of the Chanel boutique locations in Singapore. Hi to everyone in Singapore. I was looking at my analytics. So many of you are supporting this channel, so I just want to say thank you. So it was interesting to feature one of these stories from here. So the person says, the staff expects you to be a sophisticated Chanel know-it-all customer and not to waste their time at the boutique finding out what bags they have. Please download the app, screenshot the bag that you're keen to buy, and try and connect and contact one of them that you want to make payment before making your way to the shop. Very disappointed with their service. The FA, which is Chanel terminology for fashion advisor, was XYZ. She names her, I don't want to say the SA's name. And then she says another SA's name and then says, this person came to assist and she was awesome. Okay, I think that this is so true of all Big C experiences. I do think when you know like what you want to buy, like they definitely expect it. Definitely at Big C, definitely at Louis Vuitton and Big H as well. They expect you to know what you want to buy. I definitely feel like those days where someone could easily walk into a boutique and be like, oh, can you show me things and things like that. I feel like those days are done now. I feel like they really want you, as this person said here, to be a sophisticated know-it-all customer. Well, I don't feel like that's fair to clients. I think it's completely reasonable for a client to want an essay to explain things to them, and to be able, and for the essay to be able to say, look, you know, okay, you can get this, you can get that, you can get this, you can get that. And I totally agree that Big C does want clients who know everything, and not even just Big C, like Big H and Louis Vuitton as well. They really want you to know, and I don't think that's fair. And I think that it should be okay to walk in there, and I think it's completely fine for you to walk in there and to expect for them to explain things to you. I think that's completely fine. The next one is also from Singapore. This is from one of the locations there. Came here to write an honest review, and I see a lot of people have had a bad experience with Chanel customer service at Takashimaya. I hope I pronounced that right. Several essays on the low level actively avoided us when we were merely trying to ask a question. No courtesy was shown. This is wrong. Moreover, the essays were running behind other people who did not buy much, if anything. This makes me wonder if the treatment was due to how we looked or some other kind of bias. Again, it comes up over and over and over again about these luxury boutiques and them judging you based on how you're dressed, or perceived bias, or you know, that bias that, you know, you might feel. You know, I've had bad experiences in boutiques. I can always tell if I'm being like racially profiled, and there was actually an experience that I had in January in Paris, but I don't feel like I want to talk about it, because not because like I feel like, oh, it's, you know, I'm gonna make this thing weird or whatever, but I only had one really bad experience. And generally speaking, I don't want to use my channel to talk about bad experiences. I only want to come here and talk about like good fun times, or we drag these brands and we have a good time. I completely respect what this particular individual is saying, is that maybe there was some bias, or maybe it was how they looked. My feeling is a lot of these brands really do look at how you look. And I have told so many of you are stubborn when I say this. Whenever I'm like, these brands do judge people for how they look, a lot of you are like, well, I was wearing trainers. I'm telling you now, how you look at these houses does matter. Whether people want to admit it or not, it does matter. A lot of the times the good reviews, like sometimes on these reviews on Google, people post pictures of like their outfits, and someone will write like a good review, okay? And they were dressed really, really, really well, and they looked really, really nice. So I'm not surprised at all about that. And it's not fair that they were ignored, and they probably were like looking at them like how they were dressed. I remember the Chanel at Printemps. I remember the queue, people queuing. People looked amazing. Like people were dressed so well, had shopping bags, people had really nice designer handbags, people had really nice jewelry. Like people look nice when they go shopping at these boutiques. And definitely in Europe, I noticed that people really do dress and look nice. I didn't really get a feeling that people go casually shopping to Big H and look extremely casual. Not in my experience. If that was your experience, that's fine, but I'm not surprised to see these reviews. The next one is from Big H in Palo Alto in California. This person says, they would be dishonest about keeping my repaired bag for 4 months without a quote for repair. We had to threaten to sue them to get my bag back. They also don't recognize their own runway special piece that I carry. The staff would say they would get back to me, but does not. Managers and staff aren't educated about their own product. It's a puzzle to me how this Hermes store can be so unprofessional. The schedule was bad too, but there weren't any clients there. They would not let you in just for the sake of following an order, but that wasn't. But there wasn't anyone shopping, so it was odd. Yo, first of all, this woman, you're brave, even putting your government name, okay, on Google reviews saying you're threatening to sue Big H in California about your bag that was, you know, presumably going to spa for a bear. You are absolutely barking mad. That is the energy I want to see from everyone this year, okay? I really hope she hasn't been B-listed from the boutique, honey, because you know Big H, honey, she doesn't play around. If she doesn't like you, she doesn't like what you're doing, she'll cut you off in a minute. When I read this story, I was like, I thought that I had got it wrong. I was like, no. I didn't read this correctly. I didn't understand it, and I had to read it over and over again. I don't know about threatening to sue Big H because when you willingly gave your bag for them to spa or repair. I don't know about suing, it's not that serious. And then this piece here about they don't recognize their own runway special pieces. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Am I the only person who doesn't really think that's a big deal? Like, people, this is their job. You know, this is someone's job, but that person has a life as well. Okay, the person working at Big H, they do have a life outside of Big H, and I think it's completely reasonable if they don't know every single catwalk special piece. I don't think that's completely out of the ordinary, and I don't think that's a big deal. So I think this person, I'm glad you got your bag back, babe, but I don't know about threatening to sue Big H, particularly if you plan to keep shopping there, okay, with your government name. Come on now. Okay, and then the final one is my favorite one because I always save the best for last. This is also from Palo Alto, but it's not a negative review, but we're going to discuss it because it's absolutely fascinating. She says, this Hermes store is really good. I've shopped at many Hermes stores all over the US and some abroad, and my home store is Palo Alto, California, and this is my favorite. Reading the reviews here, I felt like I needed to go online to defend them. Ooh, okay. It seems like there are a lot of jealous crybabies who didn't get what they wanted, so they decided to go online and whine about it like little kids. I think this is a problem with Yelp and Google reviews because it's turned into a place for people to whine and behave like children. Grow up! Are you that much of a child? Maybe if you didn't behave like an adult baby, they would give you the bag you wanted. I cannot stop screaming. Let me say that one more time, okay? Are you that much of a child? Maybe if you didn't behave like an adult baby, they would give you the bag you wanted. I came in to buy a scarf and was asked if I wanted a bag, but I also behaved like an adult with some class and treated the employees with respect. She capitalizes it. If you act like a Karen, of course, you aren't going to get anything. Learn some manners, people. OMG, like, where do I begin? Because I was collecting these dragging stories, and then I see this one, and it was like, God, put this in my hand, honey, because we need to react. Okay, first of all, this person's obviously a client of the boutique, okay? And remember how I told you, I don't like it when people are willfully, like, obtuse about their shopping situation at Big H. I personally do not like it, and I've told many of you guys that before. I'm not a fan of that at all. So for example, she's obviously, because here in the beginning, she says the Palo Alto boutique is her home store. Then here she says, I came in to buy a scarf and I was offered a bag. Let me stop you right there, okay? You have got purchase history at this boutique. That's why you coming in to buy, you know, a small scarf. Maybe you were going in anyway to get your bag, okay? So don't be willfully misleading and obtuse. We'll talk about that once we're done with this dragging story, because there's some things I want to talk about that when it pertains to the Big H community and people not being transparent about their stories. And then she's like, she feels like she needs to go online to defend them. Listen, I was screaming when I was reading this story. And then she says there are a lot of jealous crybabies who didn't get what they wanted. She went there. Okay, she came for the people, okay, in this thread. Are you that much of a child? Grow up. Maybe if you don't behave like an adult baby, they would give you the bag you wanted. Listen, she needs to stop. Okay, that is the Big H thug life, Tupac, all eyes on me energy that I want to see from all of you this year, okay? This is the kind of energy I like. Okay, now, but honestly, when I read this story, it reminded me of a conversation I was having with a friend of mine. So as most of you know, I have my own small business. It's a marketing company. So I was talking to a mate who also works in marketing, but in another country. And she watches my channel, and we were kind of talking about the way luxury brands market themselves. Big H has successfully marketed themselves to this particular client because I was telling my friend, I was like, you know, I feel like Big H, Big C, Big LV, they all thrive on what I'm going to call insecurity marketing. They create insecurity, fear, okay, and uncertainty in their clientele to get people to continue shopping. We see this at Big H with the Big H game. You have to go one-to-one in some countries, but in other countries it's wish list. Some people get bags and they don't even spend, you know, 1,000 euros, or, you know, they don't even spend that much money, you know, and they get a bag. And what that does is it does create this kind of sense of insecurity, because you see someone who maybe spent, 500 euros or 400 euros or didn't spend anything at all and get a bag. But in your location, people are spending 20,000 US dollars, 15,000 US dollars, and going 1.5 to 1 and going 2 to 1 in order to get a bag. It then creates this kind of insecurity amongst the client base, and it feeds this circle, this like vicious circle, to be fair, of people constantly spending money in order to score bags. Same thing at Chanel, in the US, for example. If you're shopping at a competitive boutique in Chanel in the US, you're not going to be able to get those unicorns if you don't spend money in other categories. And Louis Vuitton is doing the same thing. Some clients are finding they can't pre-order that new collection that's coming in April. Some people were allowed to pre-order ages ago. All of these brands feed off this kind of creating this sense of insecurity. People who have incredible careers, some of you are, you work in the healthcare sector, some of you are corporate executives, some of you are businessmen and businesswomen, and you're balling hard in your life. But then when it comes to these brands, everyone's terrified to even ask, at Big H, people are petrified to ask for a Birkin. People are absolutely terrified, to double check to see if they haven't been bumped off the reserve list at Chanel. Do you know what I mean? They thrive off insecurity. So someone like this particular client, she is obviously a top dog at this boutique. So she's not affected by the insecurity because she's grandfathered into their insecurity marketing strategy. Being that, I feel like Big H specifically operates like a professional sports team. I love football. Liverpool is my favorite team. Whenever the World Cup comes around, I love watching it. And in a football team, you've got the captain, you've got the star players, then you've got other players who are really good, and then you have people who are on the bench who are fighting to be on the field, playing football. I think it's the same thing. At Big H, you've got the VIP clients, they're the star players. Then you have the big spenders who are like making things happen on the pitch, and they're spending money, and they also get the bags they want. And then you have everyone else who's on the bench fighting and waiting and fighting their way onto the pitch. And I feel like reviews like this remind me that Big H really does benefit from this system where they create insecurity and fear amongst their client base, because they make people feel so uncertain. That's why I was telling you, you can't really compare different situations. So like a lot of the boutiques in Europe are wish list. Even the French boutiques, some of them are wish list, some of them you could just walk in there, and get a bag. But I don't feel like it's fair on you and your mental health to compare yourself to someone in, say, the UK or someone in Switzerland, where you could easily just get a bag if you just wait it out on the wait list and you wait it out, because they're just matching the inventory that's coming in. And then likewise, you might be in a really competitive boutique in Asia or the Middle East or the US. Don't stress yourself out, because there are people like this woman who are going to come and defend Big H, and she knows very well that she's probably 2 to 1 at that boutique. She said she walked in and asked for a scarf and was offered a bag. Let me stop you right there. You know very well that you are absolutely 2 to 1 in that store. And this is what I mean about the willfully obtuse and misleading stuff. So I just wanted to just kind of put that out there, because I don't want some of you guys to be stressed about shopping at Big H, at Chanel, at Louis Vuitton. This is meant to be fun. They should be fighting for our business and fighting for our custom. I know that I might be contributing it to it a little bit, because I film, Big H videos, I film Chanel videos, Louis Vuitton videos, but when I film those videos, I film them because I like them as brands, but I don't put any brand on a pedestal. I think it's just really, really important. Like, we read these dragging stories, we laugh, we react to them, but don't put any of these brands on a pedestal. I don't care whether it's Big H. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care how well made the products are. Okay? The sort of insecurity marketing that the brand creates is something that even us who shop at Big H, we need to be cognizant of that and not let it kind of run away with us. Because this particular individual here, she's defending this boutique. This boutique is legendary in my videos. The Palo Alto boutique gets dragged, honey, okay? This boutique gets dragged to the heavens, okay? And she's here calling people adult babies. I have never screamed so hard. When I read that, I was screaming, okay? Because I was like, oh my God, you didn't go there. And then she conveniently is dropping hints that she shops at that store and she was offered a scarf. I mean, she bought a scarf and then was offered a bag. Girl, bye. So a few days ago, I told you guys on Instagram, asked me some questions because I was going to answer them in this video, and some of you did. And I also got a question in the Premier chat that I wanted to also open up here. So I'll just read out what I got in the sticker. The Fantasy 420 says, love your channel and Facebook group, keep up the good work. Well, thank you for that. Guys, make sure you join the Facebook group. It's linked below. It's so much fun. Please join. SC says, just letting you know that you're doing great. Keep going. Thank you. And SC also says here, hi Queen, tell us what you think of the Her bag and other cheaper big H bags. Okay, this is a great question. Thank you for asking me this question. So tell us what you think of the Her bag and cheaper big H bags. Okay, a few things. The Her bag is really interesting to me. SC and I, when we were talking about the Her bag, I feel like the Her bag is actually a nice bag if that's your aesthetic. I feel like it's probably a bit too minimalistic for me. I probably wouldn't take it because I think it's maybe a bit too minimalistic for me. But I do think that it's a bag that people like, and I can see why people like it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. And I think it's also very, very, very low key. So if that's your vibe, that's your mood, I feel like it would suit you if you're into that kind of thing. And in terms of the cheaper bags, I'm really glad you asked me this question, because the bags I would say that I like that are not Birkin, Kelly and Constance's, because my feelings on the Constance have changed. I would say I like the Constance now. I feel like the cheaper bags that I like at the brand that aren't the three like holy grail quota bags, I really like the Mini Ruly and I like the Cinetic. So I'm going to tell you why. I like the Mini Ruly because I feel like the Mini Ruly, it's not too equestrian. I've realized something. I don't really... the reasons why I like Big H are not the reasons why many people like them. Many people love the equestrian vibes. Honestly, you know, only because it gives me horse jokes, but, you know, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah, I said it. You can't make me like the equestrian theme in a lot of their bags. I don't really care for it. However, the Ruly, I feel like, has a little bit of equestrian, but it's not overpowering. So like the Mini Ruly doesn't overpower me. I really like the Mini Ruly and I would love to get one in Ever Color. I think I got sticker shock when I found out how much the croc and alligator ones cost. I was like, ah! Oh my gosh, my heart stopped beating because I was comparing them to Louis Vuitton exotics. But I'd love to get a Mini Ruly this year in Ever Color. The Ruly, I feel like the Ruly status of the house has changed, and I feel like it's popping now, particularly the mini version. So like the mini version of their non-quota bags are popping right now, and those are not walk-ins anymore. I feel like I would maybe if I walked into a Big H boutique and I was like, hi, can I get a Mini Ruly? They'll probably offer you the larger Ruly, and that's not the one that I want. But I do think the mini one is nice. I like the Cinetic. The Cinetic is really unpopular at the brand. Many people don't like this bag. I think this bag has a lot of potential. I believe the Cinetic was released in 2017, so it's a very new bag. If you think about it, it's still quite fresh. No one's really checking for this bag, and I kind of like that. I love that it's boxy, but I feel like, and I love that the clasp is like a H clasp, and then when you open it, it turns into a line. I think that's gangster. I love that. I love that. However, I wish they would consider making a mini version, because I feel like the bag is big. I mean, I've seen unboxings of the Cinetic on YouTube. The bag is big. It looks really awkward crossbodied. If I was to get it, it would just be to use it as a top handle. It's a very boxy bag, and I like oddly shaped bags, but I feel like they should consider making a mini version of the Cinetic. But I would say I like the Mini Ruly and I like the Cinetic. Those are the only two that I would consider buying with my own money, even if there wasn't a BKC there. I would happily consider going into a boutique and purchasing them. There's also a Cinetic clutch as well, which is interesting. It's quite pricey, to be fair. It's really, really pricey, but I would also consider that one as well, because I think like having a nice black clutch or a nice clutch in a neutral color is nice, particularly for me, because I saw the Cinetic clutch. You know, I don't know how big it is, but you know, I can put like business receipts in there, I can put documents in there, I can put paper in there, like for work and stuff. So I do like that one. I think that one's really nice. I think there's also a Cinetic to go. I'm not interested in that one, but I do like that Cinetic clutch. It looks like a pouch kind of thing, which I like. So I like the Cinetic, and I genuinely can say I like the Cinetic and the Mini Ruly, and I know I I like those bags because I would feel comfortable walking into a boutique and asking for those bags without thinking about a Birkin, a Kelly, or a Constance. So I would say I like those two. Personally, the Picotin and the Evelyn are not my personal taste. They're not my style. So I can't really get into a bag if it's not my personal style. But I would say that the Cinetic being a top handle and being boxy and having a different shape, that's my style. The Mini Brûlée is very much my style, which is really interesting because a lot of these messenger bags, I used to not think that they were for me, but I do like the mini version of it. I think it's really nice. Another question that I got was from Cece, and she asked me in the Premier chat from a few days ago, what do I think of the Birkin Cellier? I'm really glad that she asked me this question because I have been thinking about Birkin Cellier. So as you know, the Birkin Cellier is the Birkin that's made in the Cellier style. So as you know, the Birkins and the Kellys are made in two styles. There's Raton and the Cellier. The Cellier is the outside stitch, so you see the stitch outside, and then the Raton is the inside stitch. The Raton gives it a slouchier, more casual vibe. You can notice that in Kelly's and obviously the Birkin itself. And the Cellier is much more structured. It's much more structured. It's quite rigid and it looks quite hard. There's a kind of architectural kind of look to the Cellier Birkins and the Cellier Kellys. Do I like the Birkin Cellier? I love it. I think it's beautiful. I would happily take that if I was offered that bag. I would be so honored to be offered that. I feel like it's really cool, and I hope I'm not coming across like those annoying people who want to be different and don't want to like what everyone else likes. I like a lot of the things that you guys love and like, but I feel like the Birkin Cellier is very much my personal style. I also feel like a Birkin Cellier could be used for work for me, and I feel like it would actually look really nice as like a work bag, maybe to take to meetings. I think it's, in a way, I think it's actually very discreet because when you think of the Birkin, you always think of it in the Raton. You don't necessarily think of it in, the Cellier style. I love it. I know that the world is very casual now, but I still feel like there is a need for these formal looking bags. I would love it in like a 30, not the 25. I'm completely over the 25 size. I'm totally over it. So yeah, I would definitely consider it. I think it's beautiful, and I think in the right color it would look absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I love the Birkin Cellier, and I think it's an absolute mood. So you guys, I really hope that you have enjoyed these videos. I have so many exciting videos. Next week I've got just a quick preview because I don't want you guys to miss out. So please turn on notifications. I'm going to tell you why it's worth your time. Next week I've got Louis Vuitton Sunrise Pastel preview. That collection is coming for everyone, honey. Okay? Louis Vuitton is not letting people breathe. Okay? We're going to preview that. We're going to preview the Chanel 22B and 22K bags that are coming from the catwalk. So excited. I also have a new series coming, which is called Luxury Obsession. So I'm going to show you really cool things that you can buy from different brands. I'm really excited to talk about other houses. Balenciaga have got some beautiful ready-to-wear. Gucci have got some really nice new arrivals. There's some really nice things from Ferragamo. Ferragamo, I actually have my dream wallet. It's actually at Ferragamo, so hopefully when I travel next, I will be able to get it. Moschino, you know I love Moschino. There's so many great things that you guys can go and buy. There's so many great things going out there. So as a coda to this video, I'm going to give you my Come to Jesus talk, my Tony Robbins, luxury Tony Robbins motivational talk. You know, I chat to a lot of you guys in Instagram DMs. We talk privately, me and a lot of you, and I know that for a lot of you who are shopping at Big H, you're waiting for your offers. I know it's hard when you see people on social media get bags and it seems like you're fighting to get your bag. You're going one-to-one and you're waiting for your bag and you haven't got your bag. Don't worry. The majority of people on social media are not being transparent about what they're spending at brands. I'm sorry. It's a fact. There are people who are transparent about what they spend. So I just wanted to say channels that I watch for Hermes hauls and unboxings that I feel like they're so brilliant in the way they're transparent, and I would urge you to go and watch their channels and subscribe to them. There's a channel called My First Luxury. I think she's really great. She, a while ago, unboxed I think it was a Mini Kelly, and she said her spending ratio. I believe that is the only Mini Kelly unboxing I've ever seen on YouTube, where the YouTuber actually said their spend ratio. And I was like, wow, amazing. Absolutely love her channel. She's really, really good. Go check out her channel. And of course, Melon Melbourne and Karis. I feel like the videos I've seen from those three channels, whenever it pertains to Big H with hauls and unboxings, you really get an idea of what purchases they're making to support their BKC scores. So I just want to say, don't let social media stress you out. Just understand a lot of people are not saying what they spend. And people don't do this because it gets them more followers. As most of you know, if you follow this channel, I was in Paris in January. I'm probably going back there in summer. So I'm really looking forward to that trip. I really want to score in summer, but if I don't score it, it just means it wasn't meant to be, and it's not my timing, and I'm patient and I'm willing to wait. But something I have noticed is people just don't really say the things that they're buying. There's one Instagram account that really has fantastic pictures of the trifecta, the holy grails, the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance, right? And I remember once I was looking at some of her pictures because she's got really nice exotics, and someone asked her and said, you know, you just post pictures of the quota bags. Do you show pictures of anything else? And so many people liked that comment, and she wouldn't answer it. The people don't really want to talk about the things that they're purchasing at Big H to support their offers. And I just want you guys to know that if you're waiting for your offer, just be patient and keep waiting, and don't compare your current situation to what you're seeing on social media. Social media is incredibly edited and curated, okay? I post 3 videos a week. The majority of my time is spent working with my team. It's not glamorous. The work we do is hard work. It isn't glam. I spend most of my time in Tanzania not even speaking English. And I was telling Edwin this the other day, like, when I actually speak English, a lot of the times when I'm filming my videos for you guys, but at work I speak Swahili with my team. I speak Swahili with my housekeeper. Edwin and I speak Swahili and English together. I speak Swahili for the majority of the time because I'm always at work for my business, right? So you can see how curated it is. If you were just watching these videos, you'd think, wow, Kagem just talks English all the time. Does Kagem ever speak Swahili? Kagem speaks Swahili all the time, honey. And you know how crazy it is to talk about yourself in the third person. I speak in Swahili a lot. So what I'm saying is you can create a very curated image on social media that you control. Okay, you guys, so I hope that you have enjoyed these videos. I just want you guys to enjoy my videos, enjoy luxury, but don't let it like take over, and don't let yourself get stressed by what you see on social media. Social media is heavily edited. If I go and score in Paris and I make a video saying I got a Birkin Cellier and a Kelly Pichet and I didn't spend anything, and then in the video I don't mention that in January I spent things, I don't feel like that's me being transparent. So don't let stuff on social media kind of stress you out or distort your experience of Big H. Focus on what you're doing. I know it's hard, and I know that some of you might be like, well, that means I have to unfollow you, Kagem, because you talk about Big H. If that's what you need to do so you're not stressed, I'd rather you do that, and then when you're ready to come back and watch my videos, say hello. You know, I think that's completely fine. So don't let yourself get stressed out by social media. These are just material things. Your life is not going to change whether or not you have them. They're just beautiful things to have, but always remember that. I hope you guys were okay with my come to Jesus talk, my luxury Tony Robbins. I know I ended up sounding like Tony Robbins here, like believe in yourself and stuff like that, but seriously, don't take it too seriously. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.